How dare you? You have stolen my dreams and my childhood with your empty words, and yet I'm one of the lucky ones.
Everyone should know Greta Thunberg at this point, the famous, innocent, left-wing environmental activist. However, what if I tell you that there are also right-wing environmentalists out there? This is Ted Nugent. This is a dude from the 1970s, rock star, hunter, and longtime conservative activist. He has some very interesting theories regarding the environment, to say the least.
And here's the ultimate, inescapable fact of upgrade environmentalism. When I was growing up, Joe, Lake Erie would catch fire because of the pollution. It wasn't environmentalists or greenies that sounded the alarm. It was the duck hunters that said, you're polluting this area so bad, there's no ducks, there's no wild celery, there's no walleyes, there's no fish, there's no muskrats for the trappers. Hunters, fishermen, and trappers have sounded the alarm more often than not about environmental irresponsibility.
Let's dive into the video. Welcome, y'all. It's Conservative Geographer. Many people on the liberal side claim that conservatives don't care about the environment. However, is that really the case?
The former president had said that climate change is a hoax.
Today in this video, let me debunk that myth a little bit. I think that what conservatives feel about environmental protection is actually quite nuanced. So in general, conservatives do want to solve environmental problems if they deem the situation bad or if it's starting to hurt their lives. President Trump has been asked during last year's debates about his views on climate change, and he always emphasizes that he does want clean air and water.
I want crystal clean water and air. I want beautiful clean air. We have now the lowest carbon. If you look at our numbers right now, we are doing phenomenally. But I haven't destroyed our businesses. Our businesses aren't put out of commission.
His good buddy and now the secretary of the HHS, Robert F. Kennedy Jr., is also a longtime environmentalist, and his advocacy on how toxins out there are impacting Americans' health, well, it doesn't matter if you think what he's been saying are scientifically proven or not, but you gotta admit that both the die-hard MAGA supporters as well as many moderates would probably agree on RFK Jr. So let me mention Ted Nugent again briefly. So he is coming from a super socially conservative standpoint, which is quite representative of a large rural population in the US. So examples, he defends gun rights and hunting, and he correctly points out that hunting certain animal species can actually help with a balanced ecosystem, like how controlling the deer population by hunting can help with forest growth as well as even improving traffic safety out there in the rural areas, therefore justifying his passion for guns. He has also had this view that being vegan is more harmful for the environment, for that clearing out areas for cultivated farmland can kill off animals and introduce bad substances such as those from pesticides and fertilizers.
If you really want to kill the most things, be a vegan. Because the farmers who protect your beans kill everything. In order to grow tofu, you have to kill every ground squirrel, every vole, every shrew, every snake, every turtle, every frog, every bird, every rabbit. Anything that gets in that bean field, I'm either going to plow and dismember.
But you know, raising livestock is, scientifically speaking, more costly and requires more land and energy. So he's not right on that. Personally, I do like Ted Nugent. If you click on my channel, you should expect my political leanings. However, I must say that I don't like how some people are using these seemingly scientific theories to justify their positions and think that they can somehow win the cultural war. You can keep eating meat and be a carnivore, but you also gotta let people choose to be vegans. Okay, next up, I want to talk about the famous climate change denialism among conservatives. Conservative commentator Matt Walsh openly questions whether there is current climate change, whether it's man-made or natural. So he questions that. But on the other hand, Ben Shapiro, which is Matt Walsh's colleague at the Daily Wire, which is kind of funny. So Ben Shapiro acknowledges climate change is a man-made problem, but again believes that we should and we can only adapt to its many negative effects. What he means is that we can act to save lives from heat waves, stronger rainfall, longer droughts, as well as the rise of sea level, but there is no way to actually solve this man-made climate change from the root. If I don't correctly remember their stances on the environment, please let me know in the comments below. So this is what I think. I think as in common sense conservative, not a brain-dead climate activist, I must always ask one question further whenever you see disasters take place. while all those NPCs rush to make conclusions about how it's all because of climate change and how ignorant those right-wing politicians are, etc. So I'm not going to do that. But for example, say a significant flooding, hurricane, or wildfire took place and caused damage to the local properties and economy pretty significantly. So, if the scale of this natural disaster itself is not at an absolute historic level, it might be a good idea to ask, well, what else could have caused the devastation? Is it because of governmental negligence? Is it bad forest or grassland management, where you just forgot to conduct controlled burning? Is it bad urban design with a poor or malfunctioning stormwater system causing the flood situation to worsen? Climate change is definitely real, but it simply can't be the blame of every single disaster out there. People who say that probably have a political agenda behind them, so please, be an independent thinker, not a blind follower. Okay, next up, let me quickly introduce ACC, the American Conservation Coalition. I've seen them tabling on my campus before, and was happy to see that there are groups that actually want to bring conservative voices into discussion of environmental conservation. So, according to Wikipedia, and yeah, sorry again that I always get my info from Wikipedia despite that all these damn teachers out there are telling you not to use it. But as you see, I don't have a research team behind me, and I prepare all the videos myself, so that's why you should support me, and by liking and subscribing to this channel. Okay, according to Wikipedia, ACC advocates for a lot of common sense conservative stances, such as supporting nuclear power, carbon capture and sequestration, as well as free market innovations as environmental solutions. And let me definitely take a look at ACC's own website, okay? This group strives to build a conservative environmental movement targeting the younger generation. And I really don't see anything wrong with that. You know, environmental regulations can sometimes create giant uncertainties in the global economy, as well as people's everyday lifestyles. It's just the best idea for now to just take gradual steps and see how we can utilize existing resources to maximize our environmentalist and conservationist efforts. So to summarize, I agree with most of the arguments that these environmental caring conservatives have made. Except that climate change is real, of course. There are many videos out there on YouTube that you can watch, and basically all of them are going to tell you that the rate of change of CO2 concentration is spiking up like never before in the entire history of the Earth, indicating that climate change is indeed human-induced, so let's not deny that. And if you watch my prior videos, you know that I'm more of an urbanist as well, and promoting urbanism and combating suburban sprawl should be a priority. Whether it be more public transit in cities, more dense and energy-efficient architecture, or creating a legal boundary for urban expansion, like to contain urban expansion in order to conserve more nature and farmland, which is called an urban growth boundary. Ideally in the US, I want to live in a pretty solid red state to enjoy low taxes as well as conservative social values among my fellow residents. However, since people are also moving into these red states in very large numbers for obvious, sometimes even frankly, nonpartisan reasons. Talking about cheap housing, a booming job market, warm weather, and less crime. So red states would also naturally face more environmental problems as this natural result of population and economic growth. For example, the metro Dallas area in Texas is now sprawling into Oklahoma, for example. And these red states are not like Democrat states where urban growth boundaries exist, along with the rigorous environmental laws. I know that recently Gavin Newsom of California is trying to change it, but you get my point. And on the other hand, Republican states aren't very good when it comes to improving public transit, generally speaking. So, as an urban planning student currently who is dissatisfied with liberal bias on campuses as well, I want to go help conservative states to combat their challenges. Anyways, that is the end of this video. If you like what you've heard, please go hit like and subscribe. I will see you next time.